Hi, welcome to Mad PD 2019. We're very excited to be here broadcasting today from Houston, Texas. And this particular session is I've got some students who are going to help me. My name is Carol Salva, and I am an ESL consultant in Houston, but I used to be an ESL teacher. And I'm still sponsoring a club in our neighborhood at Stratford High School called the One World Club. And so this session is we're going to be screen sharing some note things you can take notes on in just a moment. But right now, I'd like to introduce you to my co-presenters and have them tell you a little bit about themselves. They're going to help you see how to do your own One World Club, how to start your own One World Club at your school, because it's been an incredible thing for our school. So, Ali Al-Zubi, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yep, sure. So my name is Ali Al Zobi. I'm 18 years old and I've been in the USA for 3 years now. I've been in Stratford for 2 years as a student and now I'm a senior.
Nice, nice. So graduation is coming up in
Yay.
just a few days, right, Ali?
Yes,
Yeah.
20 something days.
Yeah, congratulations. We're excited for
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
being here. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, and Anthony Salva, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Anthony Salva. I'm a junior at Stratford High School. I joined the One World Club this year, and yeah, I love it. That's
Uh,
about it.
so you have a little bit longer to graduation, but
Yep, I was born in the USA too.
okay, yeah. So Anthony is representing a community member that is not an immigrant,
Hmm.
and Ali is going to be talking from a perspective of someone new to our community and new to our country. So that's fantastic. Thank you guys. So a lot of people are very interested in the One World Club because we get I work out in the field. I work across the United States and Canada, helping teachers with students who are brand new to the country. And sometimes kids have even missed years of education or they've not been to formal education, not had formal education. And one of the complaints that we get a lot, and it's valid, is that students don't know how to do school in the United States. They come and it's either very different from the school where they went, or they have not had formal education. So I understand that concern. But the One World Club that you guys started, that Hannah Keller started, has really helped meet a lot of those challenges and other things too, peer tutoring and so many things. So we're going to talk about that today. It's been so successful and that I want you guys to help. And so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to ask if you guys can see this. Let's see. Bear with me just a moment while I get to my One World Club screen sharing place. Here we go. Screen share. It always looks funny for a minute. Here we go. Okay. And back. Okay. Can we see that? You guys see the One World Club screen?
I do.
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. So this is a presentation that we gave, and Hannah Keller was with us. She's the club president, and I would say that probably every school out there has a Hannah. She came up. She has somebody that has a lot of energy for this. It was her idea, and she just got people started. And organized this club that has really taken off in the last few years. So I'm going to go through a few slides from a teacher perspective on what you might do, and then I'll let you guys take it and talk about what you and Hannah and talked about at our presentation. So today, Hannah is our president. We want to honor her because she was the founder and the organizer. But presenting with me today is Ali Al Zubi and Anthony Salva. So thank you guys again for being here. The big things for faculty. These are four things that I'm going to go through quickly. And you can watch this video again later and pause this screen. And these are the main things that we feel from a faculty's perspective is identify a faculty sponsor. Most clubs need a faculty sponsor. You need to identify a student lead. I would recommend that you show examples of other clubs, and this video is going to be a great example for you. And then let your students decide on their goals. Our students have goals that are social, emotional, academic, and other goals that they have, but they're the leaders of the club. So, just to be a little more specific about that faculty sponsor, um, it really is a student led effort versus a faculty led effort. So, when you're looking for a faculty, a student, if that's an immigrant student, that's fine. That's great. If it's a non immigrant student and the person that can be an advocate from the perspective of your community members that were born here, that's great. The thing that we found is key is that that person, that student lead, it's really important that they be connected to other organizations or willing to be connected and become connected to other organizations. If they're an influencer in other organizations, it really helps get the community and other organizations rallied around. So it's been very, very helpful that Hannah she has no fear. She stands up in the first day of school in all of her classes and says, everybody needs to join this club. She's that kind of personality, and that helps as your student lead. So your official club sponsor, your faculty sponsor, that is going to be your person that's supervising activities. We're very appreciative to to Miss Hammond and Mr. Who am I thinking of, Ali? Who are your sponsors this year?
Mr. Kunabik and Miss Hanning.
Oh, well, they've always been the sponsors. Mr. Knappich has been the
Yeah,
sponsor for a while, so they're still your sponsors this year.
yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
wonderful. We're very appreciative of both of them. So the PTA can help sponsor the community. Like me, I'm not at the school anymore, but I'm helping sponsor the club. And as a leader in your school, I would say these people should have a lot of energy for it and not be appointed. Survey your faculty and see who would really like to do it, because that's very important, of course. And then community sponsors. We didn't even realize we were going to have so many community sponsors, but Panera, we started just meeting there because it's across the street, and they started
Mm.
telling us, oh, we can sponsor if you guys will give us a heads up and give us a little bit of notice, write our corporate office, and we can donate snacks and things. And we've also had guest speakers. You can have people, entrepreneurs from the area, families host our gatherings, host our social things. And Volunteer Houston, if you look for volunteer organizations that in your community, they've told us where we can go and volunteer as a club. And so there's many things that you can look. Here's some other community services partners that we hadn't thought of originally. The YMCA, Chapelwood United Methodist always is available to our community if we want to have meetings and things there. We haven't needed to do that yet, but they've let me do other things there. Family Point is our outreach center. So look for anything like that in your area. We've gone to assisted living places to volunteer. So all of these people, just put the word out there and you'll start to see that a lot of people want to help you. If you don't know where to start, I would recommend dialing 211. If you dial 211 anywhere in the United States and a lot of parts of Canada, you'll find services in your area for your students. So anything that they might need and their parents, ESL, food assistance, rent assistance, things like that. 211 is the United Way helpline, and they can also get you connected with community service partners. So our club is great in telling friends and telling other students what's available when they first get here. Now, one of the big things from a teacher perspective is that you have to release control. That's really difficult. This picture, if you're following along on our PowerPoint, which we'll make available in the show notes today in our YouTube show notes. But this is our club day. So kids come down and learn about all the different clubs, and you can see that our club members are standing by their poster, they're pulling people over, they're raising awareness about the club. And as a teacher, it's really difficult to release control, but we do have to release control. So those are the big four things from my perspective: is identify your faculty sponsor and make sure that they have energy for it. Identify a student lead and make sure that person has a big personality and brings in and is very inclusive and is happy to go to other clubs and tell people about it. Show examples of other clubs, and that's why we're doing this today. And then release control and let your students decide on their goals. So the students themselves are going to tell you, and I'll circle back and tell you a little bit more about what, once you have your student lead identified, where do the students take it from there? Ali, do you want to start on this slide?
Sure. So steps to get started for students. get a membership drive, which is like you have to get students members coming into the club. You you make posters and post them around schools, on the hallways, on the classes. We made an Instagram page. We post every other time. We made T-shirts like this one right here.
No, we can't see it, but when we come back to you, we're going to look at your t-shirt,
Yeah,
okay?
and another thing we can get the word out, which is we can talk to people about it and stuff.
Fantastic. You know what? I want to honor a couple of people who are watching right now. Emily Francis is watching.
Emily,
Yeah, you know her. And Shilpa Palawat from New York, who's my friend. And Brad Salva is monitoring our chat also. So thank you. Other people might be watching. It looks like we have more than that watching, but those are people who are actually writing to us in the chat. And we love Miss Francis very much, and we love Miss Palawat. So thank you guys for watching. Okay, so wonderful. Ali talked about a membership drive, and that's important, right? The kids have a lot of energy for getting other students in there. What about the leadership team? Once you have all those members, Ali, what happens for leadership within the club?
um, can you ask that again? Sorry,
Yes, yes.
I
So the
didn't hear
next
you.
part of what we were going to talk about is leaders in the
Yeah,
club.
yeah, yeah.
So can you tell us anything you know about the leadership in our club?
Well, for me as a leader in the club, so like we help a lot. We share responsibilities, share
Mhm.
ideas, and like we open space for new leaders. Like for me, I'm graduating this year, so now we're working on finding new leaders for the team for the club, and we're like teaching them, and we're giving them our ideas, and we're taking ideas from them too. So that's what we're doing as leaderships.
Oh, fantastic. You know what? Miss Francis just commented that we can see your t-shirt because they are seeing your faces.
Yeah.
I thought we were seeing when I talk, people see
The
the
slides, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
the
flights.
slides. I'm sorry about that. So it's flipping back and forth. Okay, right, right. So, and Miss Francis said that it's a fantastic t-shirt. She says it's awesome. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, we're really proud of this. So, yeah, one of the nice things about the club is that we do open a space, or they do. Hannah is really intentional about sharing leadership responsibilities and opportunities for other students. Anybody who wants to be a leader, they can find a place to do that. Okay, Anthony Salva, could you talk to? And thank you, Ali, very much.
You're welcome.
So, Anthony, would you talk about this next slide? It's showing for a minute because I'm speaking, but if you'll just read this next part or talk about it, please.
Right. Yeah. So when Hannah was creating the club, she came up with this mission statement, and it's something that students in the club and Hannah have used for scholarship applications, college applications, and it's really like a base for what our club is built on. So it says it's like really explains what our club does, which is foster relationships between American and immigrant students at Stratford High School through community building activities and volunteering. And that's really what we live through. So,
So, one of the things that's so important about this mission statement, if people haven't noticed, Anthony is my son. And so you can imagine as a parent, as a sponsor of the club and a parent and just a community member, how important just their mission statement is and how proud I would be to have my son in this organization. So if we think about this for a minute, they came up with this mission statement. We did not. The adults did not. So to foster relationships between American and immigrant students at, and then she put your high school there, through community building activities and volunteering. And one of the things that Hannah is explicit about telling the other members is this mission statement. You can use this mission statement in your college applications, in your scholarship applications. When you're telling people about what One World Club is, this is what we are fundamentally. And kids cut and paste this so that it helps them for future opportunities, because there are many organizations out there that would want to hire or bring into their university or their learning communities students who work with all different cultures. So I can really appreciate this mission statement, and that they put it out there for other clubs to use as well. Awesome. Anthony, do you want to talk about how it's organized?
Right. So, whenever you're taking an organization into making your club, you need to think about where meetings are held. Like if you're going to have them at school, what room is that going to be in? You also want to worry about social gatherings. Like, for example, later this month, we're going to have a graduation party at my house. So things of that sort. Lastly, you also want to take into account service opportunities such as volunteering. So like Volunteer Houston, we have used to do volunteering at churches and things of that sort. So you have to, yeah.
Now,
organize.
you know what? We got a question in the chat just now that I want to ask you guys to address. Shilpa Palawat teaches at a middle school in New York, and she's wondering if you two feel that when you were in middle school, would this work at a middle school level?
Whenever I talked about this at a different conference, I had a similar question. Someone asked me if at the elementary level, if they think that this would work out. And I told them that I think it definitely can. I think it could definitely flourish at the elementary and primary level education, but that it just might have to include a little more faculty supervision just to make sure everything's running smoothly and, you know.
Yeah, I can totally imagine that. Don't you agree, Ali? You have younger
I
brothers and sisters.
Yes, I do agree on what Anthony said.
Yeah, I think anytime you open a space for kids to feel included and other kids to make those kids feel included, even at the younger you go, like Anthony said, the more as a teacher you would probably run it a little bit more. But what a great thing. I know at Spring Forest Middle School, there's some great clubs going on. So
Definitely.
and clubs similar to this one. So I would say yes. Anthony, if you'll talk about the financial support part again, I have a screen showing right now. Um, is it necessary? What have we done for financial support? Will you talk with that to that, please?
Right. So one of the great things about the One World Club is that it's very financially. You don't have to spend too much on it. The at each of our meetings, the highest expense is a couple cookies for the students to snack on. But we have raised PTA raised 400 for us. We had a GoFundMe that raised $450, and we've also done fundraisers that was put towards T-shirts like Ali's that we got. But other than that, no, it's a very very cheap
Look,
club, and it's yeah, not to spend too much on it. So that's a really good thing about the Windward Club.
yeah. In fact, one of the big things that we do is that we turn around and volunteer and put effort into the community instead of taking from the community.
Definitely.
And all of the members really get a lot out of that. I'm going to let you guys talk more about that in a minute. So, Ali, I'm going to just share this screen right now so people can see one of the fundraising efforts here on the left is you and Hannah, and that's your sister Rahad behind you. And we're putting meals together at a holiday Feed Houston event. And then the other, you're in the middle in this other picture with me and Hannah at our own holiday party. So I was going to ask you, Ali, would you take a moment to tell people watching what it means to you, what the club has meant to you, and why it's been important? I'm going to stop screen sharing at this point.
Of course. All right. So I mentioned that I've been in the USA for 3 years at the beginning of this video. So when I first came here, I did not speak any English. Like I had zero English, and I had to learn here everything. So I learned like after a year, I learned English, but I still had like this fear that I can't talk to no one else. Like I barely talk to other people. I only speak to myself and that's it, and teachers. But I didn't have like friends. I was scared of talking to them because I was like, my English is not that good. I'm like they're gonna make fun of me and stuff. But when Salva and Hannah told me about the club, I joined and it was amazing. Like I started talking to people. I like this club made me break my fear, and like I missed 5 years of school when I used to live in Jordan, a country called Jordan, and I missed 5 years of school. So when I came here, I had zero education, and this club helped me through everything. Like if I have a hard project that I need to work on, someone in the club, one of the members in the club would help me. If I have a math homework, they will help me too. It's not just me. Every single kid who had like who missed like years of school and came here would get help from the club, and it's just been great. Like I loved it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna mention because in the chat, Shilpa's talking about the club being a good place for conversation. So I know from a teacher perspective, for both, we have teachers that are watching, and some of them, like Shilpa and me, we're the ESL teachers. So we're looking at, oh my gosh, he's getting opportunities to listen, speak, read, and write in English every time we get together, and we do, and especially when people are helping you. If you're a math teacher, you're happy that the students are working together on academic things because the club put kids together. You guys put kids together that need help with homework and things
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
But did you feel that it helped your English? Because one of the teachers is saying that she thinks it's great for that.
Yes, it helped a lot. I mentioned that like I had this fear of talking to other kids, and when everyone got together and like we're just a family, that's what I think of. It's not like actually a club; it's a family getting together and just having fun and talking. And that helps a lot because you keep practicing and talking to in English because you have to talk in English at this point, like right? Because there's like it's international. Like you don't have a lot of people who's from a country, or like you have different nationalities in the club, like people from Spain, Mexico, here, and it's just like you have to speak in English. So that helps you a lot to speak English.
And I would say to teachers out there who have reached out and said, but all of our kids speak Spanish in our area, like where I grew up. Everybody, even we were born here and we all spoke Spanish. The whole neighborhood speaks Spanish because the demographics of some of our schools, it's just all one second, one native language. But in a club like this, with the students driving it, I mean, you're the faculty, you can help give them ideas. And when you guys go out and volunteer in the community, or when you bring in a guest speaker, your club leaders are the ones that are going to have to interact with those people. So there are authentic opportunities for you to reach beyond and have kids have opportunities to produce language, target language, but also honor their native language. I mean, it's not a bad thing to speak in Arabic at our club, and some of the kids are trying to learn some Arabic from you.
Of course.
So that's pretty
students
great.
like students ask me to help them, like, hey, how do I say this in Arabic, how to say this, and same here, like I want to learn Spanish, so I asked other students, can you teach me how to say this? Is it
Yeah,
okay if you tell me how to say this? And yeah, I mean, it's just like you learn a lot of things in just this club.
Yeah.
right, right. It's very supportive. So Miss Francis
Yep.
is saying she's so proud of you, Ali, because she
Thank you.
remembers
Thank
when you were brand new to the country a few years back, Miss
you.
Francis was sharing her story, and you guys had a very similar story. You were coming into high school as a ninth grader, and you'd missed some years, and
Yep.
you didn't speak the target language. So she remembers you when she met you when she came to our school. We appreciate that she's watching too, and that all the
I remember too.
Nicole Thompson, everybody that's watching. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So, Anthony, from the perspective of a student who is a community member, maybe was born in this country, joining a club like this, can you talk about what it's done for you?
Right. So, as a student who English is my first language, I was born in the country. Um, Being a part of the One World Club has really given me opportunities to help others, whether it's with school things. Maybe they want to learn a word in English. They got an email that they can't interpret or something like that. That really helps whenever I help other people with something like that, it really makes me feel good. But it also, not only that, it helps me just as much as I'm helping them. I really, they help me. All my friends in the One World Club help me so much. They with anything. You know, I want to learn Arabic. I want to. I mean, it's there's a lot of things like such a great community that we have, that everyone's helping each other. Everyone's we're one one thing.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again if I can, because we also wanted to talk and share what a little bit about Ali's sister, Rahad.
Mhm.
Ali's sister was supposed to be here sharing with us, but Ali was going to say a little bit about Rahad also. And I mean, we have a lot of different students, but Rahad has started her own club, isn't that right, Ali?
Yes, she did.
So do you know anything about that club?
Yes, I do. So it's a Making Peace Club.
Hmm.
Pretty much. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying it's called the Making Peace Club, right?
Yes, that's what it's called. So they're they're making stories and like what happened in in her country, my country back home, and they're making like this story, and I think they're making an act right now,
The
or they're
play.
gonna do, yeah, the play, and they're gonna do it like in Ramadan, like it's gonna be in like 2 weeks.
That's awesome. So that's one
Yeah.
of to me, that's one of the biggest positive outcomes that have come out of it is some of the other things that our club has been a catalyst to other things. Like, I don't know, can you see my screen right now, Anthony?
Yeah.
So what's going on in this picture?
So this is a picture of I started a peer tutoring uh, group. I
Right.
got a couple students who wanted some help, and we got funds for to give them some Chromebooks so they can. And basically, what it is, they're learning stuff that I haven't learned. I'm not teaching them everything. There's stuff like in aquatic sciences and stuff like that. I haven't taken that course, so I don't really know how to teach them that. But the Chromebook, I can show them how to find that information because that's something I have a lot of experience with. I grew up with technology and everything, so I'm showing them how they can get these resources and teach themselves with aquatic sciences or anything really in the future. So I think it's a really beneficial thing for them, and it's really a good thing for me too.
Yeah, I know. I've heard some of your conversations, and it's not just a one-way conversation. These kids have knowledge and background that we don't have.
Yeah, I mean they're teaching me stuff every time.
Yeah, about the world, about where they come from, and about, like Francis is a great example. He had some science. It's science that we hadn't learned. And so it's just the language and maybe some of the fundamentals of our standards we might be able to help him with, but we're all going to learn in these collaborations. So
Mhm.
that's very inspiring. So Anthony, you had said that you wanted to talk a little bit about why the community should get involved. I think you maybe already covered this, though.
Probably, but I mean, wouldn't hurt to say it again. It's opening opportunities for all the students and for the community, and it's also you're gaining new experiences, volunteering, meeting new friends. I've met some of my best friends in the One World Club, and yeah, so it's a really really beneficial thing.
Yeah, so I would really encourage people out there to think about it. Here's another club that has just been, it was so inspiring to me. These are both newcomers who had started as newcomers in the next year after being part of the One World Club. They started, Balkis and Abraham started their own math club, but it's not your typical math club. If you want help with math or if you love math, you should join this club because they put together kids who like math and kids who struggle with math, and that's their whole purpose is a math club to pair up students who love to talk about math and kids who struggle with math. And I just think these are such fantastic outcomes once students start to take on the leadership roles outside of the club is so exciting. So this last slide just shows some events over the last year. We do a lot of volunteering things. One of the things I was so impressed with is at Christmas, there was an opportunity to feed Houston, to feed thousands of people in Houston, but it was at Christmas, specifically a Christian church doing it. And I told the club, I understand if this is not your background, if this is not your religion, if you don't feel comfortable. Most of the kids that showed up were Muslim students.
Yes.
I know. And they were like, well, that's silly. Why would we not? This is about helping people. This is just about peace and happiness and helping people that need help. And it's beautiful to see other people's cultures. So the kids are teaching us every day. I appreciate Ali, all of you guys that came out to do that and that are the first ones to volunteer to help our community, whether it's at the um, you know anywhere that we go. So I'm going to wrap up because it's been 30 minutes and other sessions are starting. But I want to thank you guys. Is there anything else that you want to say?
Ali.
Well, it's just been great. I just want to add one thing before we go. Even I'm graduating this year, I'm still up to volunteer at the One Work Club and just go back and like help others, even
That's
if I'm in college.
They make lifelong friends in the group, and it's
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of friends in there, and we're
Yeah.
just gonna keep in touch with them.
Don't worry, we'll pull you back in. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We will. Thank you to everybody watching. Miss Frances had a great question. If we have a letter that she could take to her administration, and I think we can put something together for people and have it in the Mad PD YouTube notes that we can put together. Definitely, this presentation is going to be shared with everybody so that you could present it to your faculty if you wanted to as well. So thank you for that idea, Miss Frances. We're going to say bye now.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody watching. Thank you, Mad PD. Thank you, Derek and Peter, for doing this. Okay, bye bye.